Hello, Molly, and welcome to your past life reading. I'm really excited about this. So what I'm going to do, I'm looking at the camera, but I'm also looking at your name here because I'm actually going to tap into the Akashic records on your behalf. And if you don't know what the Akashic records are, they are actually the energetic library. It's like a vibrational library. You can't see it, but it is the library of everything that has ever been done, said, or thought, everything that ever will be done, said, or thought, or everything that is currently being done, said, or thought. And this includes a book that has everything that your soul has ever done in it too. So what's going to happen is I am going to connect to this energetic library on the behalf of your soul imprint so that we can get to the bottom of your three most, what's the word? I don't want to say current because we want to connect the three lives that are most connected to this life. You know what I mean? Like some lives might have been like, and then other ones might have scarred you or left over a mission that you have. So those are the ones we're going to get into. We're going to get into the characteristics of that, how they ended, what you have left over, and just give you more of an understanding, because what I have come to realize is that we keep doing the same thing in circles. Like, have you ever seen The Sixth Sense when the ghost was just sort of like stuck in work mode, like he was dead, still working? That's essentially what's going on here. If you do not finish something, you come back and you try to do it again multiple times. So I am about to actually tap in, log into the library on your behalf. I'm entering the Akashic records on the behalf of Mollie Gilbertson in Duluth, Minnesota. All right. May I have the details of the first past life most connected to this life for Mollie? Sculptor. Oh my goodness, you did say the only note you have on here is I'm an artist. But for this one, what's wild, right? And let me show you, let me make sure I pull myself. So you see I'm not bullshitting you, right? It's a sculptor, it's an artist, particularly somebody who's an insomniac. Sometimes they have to work overnight. Their mind won't rest. It's just a wave of emotion that comes over you have to create. But it turns out that you were actually being guided by your ancestors, like over your shoulder, like there are always spirits with you. And that is a pattern clearly that has come over to this life. So I'm going to dig more into this life where you were a sculptor, a great creator, somebody who was actually being used as a conduit for outside energies to create masterpieces. For the Akashic records, may I have more details on the life where Mollie was a sculptor or a muse? What is the past life pattern? This is sculptor. It was in Asia, first and foremost. And you were a part of a community. So this is it's not even spiritual energy, just like a village, if you will. A village where everybody had things to contribute, but your contribution was your art. You're a very solitary person, but it appears that there was a lingering, and let me know if this applies to this life, there's a lingering fear of a spouse. There's a possibly violent relationship that is lingering here. A fear that is connected to your art in that respect. This is interesting. All right, so I'm going to pull now for the personified characteristic for this life. Can I have, what was the personified trait for Mollie in this life? What person was Mollie? That does make sense to be like a Asian wife that was home, unable to leave out of the home, but only comforted by your art. Because this literally showed up as like an Asian woman that is working on potions or art and stuff at night. So this is a life where you were sort of a stuck wife with a wild husband. And by wild, I mean abusive, essentially. So let's see how this life came to a close. Okay, I'm actually going to take my ring off for these cards. This deck is huge. All right, how did this particular life? Mollie was an Asian woman artist, and how did she pass away? Let's see. I immediately, while I was shuffling, I got a little tense because it felt accidental. And this came up, which is like a loss of blood. Do you have a thing about blood in this life? Have you been suicidal in this life by any chance? Because that feels like that also could be the case here. Just extreme overwhelm with the husband, with the finances. This definitely feels like, I'd say this one ended in suicide and unhappiness. And it's very, very possible. This is something that's lingering over in your art or in your subconscious. This was just wild, Mollie. This was just life number one. What you got me doing over here, girl? So let's get to crack it on life number two. Reshuffling. That was wild. I love these because it's never the same life. Nobody really ever lives the same life. So tapping back into the records, we have Mollie. What are the details of the second past life most connected to this life? As a part of a spiritual council, as a spirit, not in a human body, that should have just really made you feel some type of way, because that means that not every life has been a human life. This is, let me show you the card so you can get the feeling here. This is about rebirth. This means at some point you were some sort of angelic being that assisted with helping children or helping people through their passages and their phases of life. So I'm going to pull from the past life deck to see what information I can get on that. Other life. Mollie was an angelic being, part of an angelic cancer. The details. She needs to know about this life. Are you drawn to children? Are children drawn to you? So in this life, that's crazy. In this particular life, how am I gonna do this? You were a tree. That is how in that particular life you were an inanimate object, but you were a spirit. And it's funny, like you were the healing tree. Like, have you seen Pocahontas? Who hasn't seen Pocahontas? But essentially in that life, your angelic energy was put into a tree where people would come to kneel, pray, worship, heal. They would bring their children, they would bring themselves to attain wisdom or health. You were a freaking tree. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm not even gonna pull for how that death went. I could imagine. It felt like a Native American tree. Did that help? But like in a village of sort. I guess where they would. Maybe that's why Pocahontas popped in there, because it definitely didn't feel like any pioneer thing with the worshiping of trees. That's wild. And that's because I've seen or read about people who have regressions where they remember being a raindrop or a piece of snow or just seeing the world from above, like as a cloud or something. But you were a whole tree that people worshiped, like a healing tree, like Hollywood. Did you know that the Hollywood tree actually represents a tree where people used to come to make sacrifices in order for fame? Just going to throw that in there for you, just to let you know how important trees are. So let's get to this third life for the Akashic records for the life of Mollie Gilbertson and her soul records. What is the third life most connected to this one? This third life most connected to this one. You have so much solitary energy coming to them. A life where you made a promise as a writer. You did not complete what you wrote or what you wanted to write, it appears here. You made a soul contract in that particular life to experience a journey, something that would inspire you to write, something that you would go like the hero's journey. You would go out into the world, find something amazing and be able to bring it back and tell the world the story, and it would create a ripple. That did not happen. You did not finish becoming the Queen of Scrolls. So in this life, inevitably, you have several unfinished projects. That's what I'm saying the commonality is. And that you do a lot of stuff alone. You contribute a lot, but you end up not taking anything for yourself in some weird way. Like you live as a background player in your own life in some ways, according to this. So may I have more details about the past life? Mollie was meant to be a writer, an adventurer. Details. Teacher, after like theorist. It was still an angelic mission, my dear. So that's still a part of this. This is amazing. So your angelic mission that you came down here for in the first place, right? Because I was telling you were angelic energy. You were a tree beforehand because you were helping heal other people. That's what you've been trying to do the whole time since you've been here. The original pact that you made to even get into a human body to enjoy this experience was to take every path so that you would have something to log in this freaking Akashic records, because you have been giving so much of yourself to other people, but not making a real name for yourself. You've been a team player. You've been the priest and priestess, just assisting with everybody's forgiveness and faith. You've been given so much of yourself, but in this time you came to take a journey to actually experience life as self. So that's essentially why your soul is artistic. Your soul is searching always for the thing that is going to be written in your book, so that when you come back here, you have lives, and it's not just only the tree. Where have you been a tree in this life? So thanks, Mollie. This was awesome. Have a great day.